Hello, I am Tara from Living on a Dime. Welcome tonight. We are showing you a couple of different things. So today, I had planned on doing how to fix your fingernail for free, how to give yourself a manicure, but the girls and I went swimming and we stopped by this grocery store that's not new, but it's new to us. I've heard about it from several people, but it's in a town that's 15 miles away. And I just never went over to that town very often, and so I didn't really think it was worth a trip. Well, we decided to stop today and see what good deals they have, because it's a discount grocery store similar to Aldi's and Save-A-Lot, except that this store it has expired foods, or it has foods that are about to expire, and that kind of thing. And so their prices are exceptionally low. So I was going to show you my deals that I got today. So, first of all, I got 40 pounds of blueberries. And you must be thinking, what are you doing with 40 pounds of blueberries? So let me show you, well, if I can get open here. Yeah, there. Okay, these are really nice. Do I have them in the shot? Mm-hmm. These are really nice, huge blueberries. I mean, look at that thing. That's bigger than my thumb. It's huge. And they're very sweet and so delicious. And so my niece likes to make a lot of smoothies. I just like eating blueberries. This was probably one of my best deals I've ever gotten. So this is 18 ounces of blueberries here. And I paid $1.18 for each of these. Now, to put that in perspective, for fresh blueberries at my grocery store, it's $4 for 6 ounces, and I got 18 ounces for $1.18. That's great. We did good. We're so happy. So you may be saying, how are you going to eat all of these blueberries at once? We are not going to be eating all of these blueberries at once. My niece and I and my daughter are going to be sitting this evening and picking out the bad ones and putting them in freezer bags, cleaning them, washing them, and freezing them. So we're going to freeze these. And then if I want to make a blueberry pie or something, I can just take it out. Now,
a number of people are asking for you to say again where you got them and how you got a good deal.
So I got these, what's the name of the store? Eschers? Esches. I don't know why I can't remember the name. So it's called Esches. And it's a store in Dacono, Colorado, and they're getting ready to open one in Loveland. It's like an independent little grocery store. And so I got these blueberries, but I got them for 18 ounces for $1.18 instead of $4 for 6 ounces at my grocery store. So we got a really good deal. We spent $43 for all of these blueberries. Just the blueberries. I'll talk about this stuff later, but just the blueberries, we got $43. So I saved over $400 for blueberries. And it's going to take us probably 20 or 30 minutes to get all these washed up and freeze them. It's not going to take that long. And as you can see, you may be thinking, oh, well, they're discounted, so these are really bad. But there are none. Let's see if I can do this without getting blueberries all over the place. There's one bad one here and 2 bad ones. In this whole thing, I found 2 bad ones. That's it. So this is like a huge savings. I mean, $400 for about 20 to 30 minutes worth of work. Certainly worth it. So check the alternative grocery stores, because I've heard of this place, well, for several years. My aunt told me about it. She said, oh, you gotta go check this place out. But it just was not close to home. And I thought, oh, it's not worth it. It's worth it. And the best part is, even the fruit. Now, we did get a watermelon, and it wasn't so great. But, like, I got this lettuce for 79 cents. Right now, the cheapest I found is 99 cents. We got the mangoes, 3 for $1. We got these nectarines that unfortunately we accidentally smushed in the car, but how much were the nectarines? $5 for $1 for the nectarines. The avocados were 2 for $1. Were the limes 8 for $1? Limes were 8 for $1. Actually, we should have got more of those. Uncle Mike loves those. We got 12 kiwi for $2. And then Mike, I got this for Mike for a present.
Mint jelly.
This
I'm all
is
about
Mike's.
the mint.
Yes, this is Mike's favorite jelly. This is normally about $3. I buy it for him for every Father's Day, Christmas, his birthday. This is his favorite jelly ever, but it's ridiculously expensive. So I paid $1.49 and I got his mint jelly. And I know, see?
Actually, how much do you think that the blueberries are at a regular price at a regular store here? Because a lot of people are talking about them being more expensive where they are, but I think ours are probably pretty close to that.
Yeah, so normally I pay $4 for 6 ounces. So this would be, let's see, $12 for this amount is what I would normally pay. And I paid $1.18 for these. So that's a really good deal. Then I got Mike.
Grits.
He loves grits. They had grits and they're $1.59. And normally they're in the high $2, low $3. And then I also got
network, don't I? Ooh, country bacon grits.
another grits. Mike loves grits, so I got him those.
Not all the time, but
Well, no,
when
but
I want
I mean,
them, I
yeah.
really want them.
So I got him a couple of these to try, and then we were just out of ketchup, so I got this ketchup, and I saved $1 normally over what I would normally buy ketchup. And they had these gluten-free cookies that I saw at the health food store the other day for about, I think it was like $6. And these were $1.99. And I got me some conditioner for $2.69. Honestly, I'm not sure if this was a great deal or not because I don't normally buy this kind, but I thought I would try it.
So do they say why they're a discount? Like,
well, most of the time it's like these kinds of things are probably expiring or just expired. And the thing is, though, let's see.
So I was wondering if it was like grocery outlet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like grocery outlet. From Idaho, we had a grocery outlet. But, you know, canned items like this, even if it expires in March, I'll use it like a year later.
Well,
It's
and there are
fine.
more than one kind of date code on food.
Yeah.
Some of the date code is you're going to die if you eat it after this. Most of the date codes are it's not as fresh for the next couple of years as it was for the time up until that date.
Mm-hmm.
So when the stores sell them at this, it's probably the freshness date.
Yeah. So, you know, like canned goods and that, I have no problem buying. And then the produce, of course, we just look and see what we have. And then I cannot believe I bought soap. I have like probably 500 bars of soap in my basement. But I got this soap just because I saw a video on this particular soap country in the Middle East. And I was just curious what their soap is like. And the ingredients that they use, I've never used shea butter or argan oil in my soap. And I wanted to try it, but I didn't want to buy a whole bunch of oil to make just 2 bars of soap. So I just got this to try to see if I would like it, which is kind of dumb since I have so much soap. But I was just curious if it was actually better than mine or not. Because mine's pretty good soap. I really like it. Well, and everybody likes it. And then last but not least, I got several of these. I got 10 of these Kool-Aid type. They're, I think, a Mexican Kool-Aid. Must be, as everything's in Spanish. But it's English and Spanish. But the sweetener is already in here. And I got them for 10 cents. And I don't even have to add sweeteners. So we're going to give these a try for popsicles and juice for parties and stuff and see if we like them. We don't usually drink a lot of Kool-Aid, but I'll buy it occasionally when I find it, you know, for 10 cents. I'll do it for that. So that is my good deal. I probably got about $500 at least. Yeah, probably about $500 worth of groceries. Oh, and I did get some gluten-free pizzas that normally are $12 at the grocery store, and they were $2. So I got Mike and I those to try, and I forgot to bring them out because they're in the freezer. But I got probably $500 worth of groceries here at least maybe a little bit more, for $90. And this is all stuff we'll eat, all stuff that we will, it's nothing strange that we don't normally use, but it's a great way to save money. And yeah, it's going to take us 20 or 30 minutes to wash these and put them in freezer bags, but it's not going to take that long. I mean, to save $400, that's certainly worth it for, you know, a few minutes worth of work. And I kind of look at it as I just earned $400 an hour. So, well, actually, that would be $800 an hour because it's only going to probably take us 30 minutes. So, yeah. But anyway, then we'll eat on these for a while. I mean, it'll take us a while to eat this many, but that's okay. We just throw them in the freezer and then just keep them. And you can freeze them on a cookie sheet individually, but I'm probably not going to do all that. Probably what I'm going to do is just dump them in the freezer bag, and they will probably clump together, but what I do is I just smack it on the counter and it breaks everything loose, and then I don't have to worry about it. So, do we have any questions?
Yes. Oh, Sue is asking, so Sue in London was asking what grits are.
Sue in London, are you awake watching us? Great.
It's
Thank
actually
you.
ground hominy.
So it's ground corn is what it is.
But it's specifically hominy.
Yeah. It's a kind of corn that, and I don't know, farina, if you have that there, it's made out of wheat, but it's like a creamy corn type dish. And these are instant ones. So this, you just have to add boiling water and let it cook for a minute. But they have ones where you can cook them on the stove top. But yeah, it's like a creamy corn dish, and most people eat it with butter and cheese and pepper. I don't know how a lot of people do, but you know, like you can add bacon, or I don't know, what else could you add in there? You could probably add sausage, but I've never heard of that.
Wait, for grits?
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said the first part. I was just about to, I was typing the same thing.
Yeah, so you just add those kinds of things in there.
Well, here, let me come around for it. So when I was a kid, we used to eat them with butter and salt and pepper. Sometimes we would take bacon and make it a little bit more well done, and we'd kind of crunch it up like that and make kind of like homemade bacon bits or whatever. That was pretty much the way we did it. Other people in the South like to put cheese on, different kinds of cheese or garlic, different things like that. To me, it's a little too much with those other things. So, and some people probably put other stuff on them too. Well, because this has cheddar cheese flavoring, and yeah, that one has the bacon. So
yeah, so that's what we use. Also, while Mike's walking back around, okay, so I know I said that our books went off sale yesterday, but we forgot to take off the ad. So if you're still interested in getting these print books, Do Get Out of Debt, Quick and Easy, Penny Pension, and Menus from Dining, they're all 50% off till tonight, and he's actually taking it off. So in the morning when he wakes up, that's the first thing he's doing. So you guys have till tonight, and then we also have Dining on a Dime, but it's not on sale, but this is our main book. So anyway, yeah, we forgot. So any questions?
Well, Sherry says hominy is corn soaked in lye, but I've never heard of that before. Hominy is it's a really huge kernel that's white, and it's a lot.
Well, it could be possible
it's
because...
a lot pithier than corn. It's not squishy like corn.
Yeah, well, it could be soaked in lye because lye is used to make pickles and make pretzels, so that's very possible, yeah. Okay.
All right, let's see. Got some questions over here. A lot of people talking about freezing on a cookie sheet so they don't stick together.
Yes. Normally I will, but this time I think I'm just going to dump them in there.
So some people were asking, again, how you're going to store them.
So I'm going to put them in a freezer bag and lay my freezer bag flat and just stack them in my freezer.
And let's see. Angie says I was excited about my deal on ground beef. She said she got $73.17 for $1.39 a pound.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Angie said she got beef for $1.39 a pound for 70%. That's really good. Yeah.
She said it was on sale for $1.99, and the meat person was marking it down when she was standing there.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, marked down meat is great. If you see marked down meat, don't panic. It's not bad. They just have to sell it that day, and you still have 3 to 5 days after that to use it up. So that's the date on the meat in the store is when the store has to get rid of it, not when it's good. So
Kim and a few other people were saying that blueberries are regularly 99 cents a pint at Aldi.
are they? Yeah, see, we don't have Aldi's here, so unfortunately, yeah, this is the closest place that we can get for Aldi's, but we have Save-A-Lot, and it's okay, but it's not quite as good as Aldi's.
Cheryl says grits and blueberries are around the same price at Aldi. She doesn't feel like they're saving because they never buy it at the regular price.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't ever buy it at the regular price. There's no way I would pay $4 for a third of this, so yeah.
Betty, okay, so we had a couple soap things here. Michelle was laughing, saying you have 500 bars of soap when you bought that one.
I know, it's really stupid, but wherever it went, I mean, it's really dumb that I bought this, but at the same time, it's cheaper to buy this and try out those oils that I want to try out than to buy a huge bottle of oil that I'm not sure of. So that's why I decided to do that, yeah.
And
But,
Betty,
you know, now I have 502 bars of soap.
and Betty asked if you can make some sandalwood soap.
I can. If you want some, let me know and I can make it. I do special orders, but you have to buy a whole loaf if you want a special order. That one is a pretty popular scent, so I could probably do it for more, but there's 8 bars in a loaf. So if that's something you're interested in, go to livingonadime.com, click the contact page, and email me what you want, and I can either make up a whole loaf and you can buy a whole loaf, or if it's a popular scent, then I can make you up some and do that, yes.
So there's been an interesting conversation on Facebook about washing the blueberries. So one lady was talking about being sure to wash them. And I can't remember.
Yeah,
well, I just left it off the screen. Suzanne said if you wash them before you freeze them, the skins will toughen up. So she recommends washing them after you pull them out and defrost them.
Well, that's interesting. Huh.
Never heard that. But
I have never heard that, and I've never had a problem with it, although, frankly, I've never bought this many blueberries before. I found them on clearance and frozen just a little pack and not had a problem, but, well, I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to research that and see before I go ahead and do that.
And Maricela says, great for smoothies.
Yes, that's what we use them for, mostly as smoothies, although I might have to make me a blueberry cobbler or something because I love blueberry pie and cobbler, and I'm gluten-free, so I can't have a pie, but I might do a cobbler.
Angie's saying, how many freezers do you have?
I just have one big, I have one big freezer that's freestanding, and honestly, I'm a little paranoid to buy this because our freezer's 13 years old, and it's kind of acting not so great, so we really need to get a good one. We're kind of waiting until this one dies to get a new one, but I'm a little paranoid, to be honest, to do this much and then have my freezer die, but we're going to try it and see. So,
a couple people say they were late in joining us. They just asked you, where was it you got it again? And
so it's a place called Escher's. Essers? I can't remember.
No, it's Esches. E-S-H.
Esches.
Yeah.
Esches in Dacono, Colorado. It's on Highway 52. It's just a little independent grocery store that buys foods. Like this one probably came from our local King Soopers, which is a Kroger. And actually, it has right here a tag for $3.69, and I got it for $1.49. So I saved 75% on this one, and they had it marked down. So they probably bought it from them and then are reselling it. So yeah.
Elizabeth,
can you adjust the camera? I'm gonna have to sit down for a minute.
Sure. So Elizabeth asks if you have any suggestions for keeping an avocado for more than one meal once it's been cut.
No, not really. Pretty much with avocados, even if you put lemon or lime juice, they still turn. The only thing I have noticed is that so I should just do this as a tip, but if you cut it in half and eat the half without the pit, if you keep the pit on the other half, it won't turn brown as fast. I have no idea why, but so what I do is if I only need a half of avocado, Then I will leave the pit in, sprinkle a little salt on top, and put it in the refrigerator, and then it seems to hold pretty well. But if you mash it up for like guacamole, it doesn't really work, but you can freeze it. So you could mash it up, put it in a baggie, and freeze it real quick, and then use it. So.
Well, and Hope Floats always says she washes them, but then she dries them on paper towel and then freezes them on the cookie sheet. So I don't know.
The blueberries?
Yeah, I don't know if that makes a difference.
So Hope Float says she washes them and then she dries them with a paper towel and then she puts them on a cookie sheet. That would make sense. I do put mine in a colander and then I'll pat them with a rag or paper towel, whatever I have, to get them dry so they're not so wet, and then I can move quicker. I do dry mine.
Ooh, and who is it that's doing this? Somebody on the YouTube side, I think it might have been Deep South, has made a strawberry fig video. I'd be curious what that is.
Deep South Homestead has made a
I
strawberry
think it's Deep
fig.
South. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm curious.
Well, go over and check it out because that sounds like that would be pretty tasty.
So let's see what else. Pat says she just throws the berries still in the box in the freezer, but.
Well, I would think that if you didn't use them quick enough, because they have these little holes on the sides, that they would get freezer burn eventually. I mean, I think that's fine if you're going to use them within a couple of weeks to a month, but if you're going to leave them longer and for this amount, yeah, I mean, you could just throw them in there.
Oh, Crystal says about storing avocado, there's a science experiment video on YouTube. The best way to store it is in a container with chopped onions. She says I always kept it with a pit, but in half a container with chopped onions really does keep it fresh. That might be an interesting test.
So who said that?
Crystal?
Crystal says to, so I'm repeating what Mike says because we don't have our mics set up yet. So that's why I'm repeating what he says. But Crystal says that she puts her avocado in with an onion and it keeps it from turning brown. So I'd give that a try. Shoot, we might try that with these and see what happens.
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty cool experiment to try.
Yep. Yeah, and then Libby says, sounds like a good deal on blueberries if you'll actually use 40 pounds, and believe us, we will.
Yeah, we will. My niece is vegan, and so she'll go through 10 pounds of fruit a day. I mean, so, yeah, she'll make a smoothie that has a ridiculously crazy amount of fruit in there that there's no way I could eat how much she does, so.
Actually, Maricela says something that I think is really interesting for a frugal living thing. She says, I love saving money because then I can justify pedicures to my husband.
And that's the point. I do things like this so I can afford other things. And that's the whole point of it. Frugal living isn't about making yourself miserable. It's about making choices. For me to save $400 to do 30 minutes worth of work is way worth it. And I get fresh berries that are really delicious because they're in season. And then this winter I can be eating some. And I don't feel guilty about eating blueberries, which I love. So, yeah.
Oops. Let's see.
Should I start packing this up for the next one?
Sure, so no one explain what you're going
to do. Okay, so we're going to do another, we're doing two separate videos. And I had one video planned for today, and then we got this really good deal. So I'm going to start packing up while I'm talking about the last couple of questions.
So Denise says mix your jelly with cream cheese and make a dip for crackers. So nummy.
Oh yeah, the mint jelly. Who said that?
Denise.
Yeah, Denise. She said to mix it with cream cheese and make it a dip for crackers. That's a really good idea. It's really super yummy. I've made that several times.
And Brianna suggested the same thing, and she asked if we eat it by itself, like on toast. Yes.
Yeah, Mike usually eats it on toast. Mike's the one who loves the mint jelly. He
like
eats
it on biscuits, but
yeah, he loves it on biscuits. But he's supposed to be not eating wheat, but he does every now and then because we have a really, really good biscuit recipe. And that is what I'm going to do with 40 pounds of blueberries that I got for $40. So visit us at livingonadime.com.